everybody. Today we're going to have some fun with some really fragile paper and some dyeing techniques with India ink and some walnut ink so that you can create your own collage paper that will go transparent when you use a wet glue like matte medium, or if you want to embed it in your encaustic collages. I love this technique. I love using these papers. So today we're going to use just some calligraphy paper that I bought from Amazon. This one doesn't go as transparent as the others, but it's really cheap. Well, I don't know how cheap it is. It's really affordable. It's easy to use and has a lot of things you can do with it. Next up on the translucency scale is this Gampi paper that I got from Hiromi Paper. This goes pretty transparent when you dip it with wax. With matte medium, a little bit less so. And then the king of all transparent papers that I use is, of course, the Tengucho paper. I love this paper so much. That is what both of these were used, and you can just see how transparent that is if I put it against white. Or maybe, let's see, do I have, oh, here's some purple. You know, this is a gel print on that, but you can see how translucent it goes. And if I spritz it, say with a little bit of water, then you can really see just how transparent that's going to go once you use a wet medium to glue it down. All right, I'm gonna go dry that again. Now it's important to realize that with the Tengucho paper, especially if it gets wet, it's going to tear very easily. So you have to be very specific with your water. With the Gampi and with the calligraphy paper, it's a little sturdier. It can take a little bit more of a beating. If you saw my last collage video, the disastrous S-curve design challenge, you'll see at the end that I used some of this dyed Tengucho paper at the end to make kind of a stained glass effect. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make the dyed Tengucho paper, and then next time we're going to take these the dyed paper, we're going to create a collage out of it. It should be really fun. All right, let's get going. Let's see. So today I've got some walnut ink. I put some walnut ink in this little sprayer. It used to be some kind of body sprayer. I've got a whole bunch of India inks. You could use watercolor. You could use Sumi ink. I just have these and I like them, and they're all ready to go. They do have a high glycerin content though, or maybe it's actually more gum arabic content. So you have to be, delicate with your application, especially on the Tengucho. And then I got a little spritzer bottle of water. The first thing I'm going to do here is just take this giant Tengucho and put it down into a more manageable size. And so with Tengucho, yes, you can cut it with scissors, but I like to have a soft edge. So I use a brush and some water, and I'm just going to make a line with water, and then it's going to tear right on this line, and it's going to leave a very natural kind of feathered edge, which I like because it almost melts. I mean, it does. It melts right into the encaustic when I use encaustic. And so you can see how that tears, and it's got that fine edge. I like that little rough kind of feathery edge it makes. So we're just gonna put this into, and as I said, if it gets wet, so I'll just reuse the wet streak there. Now you could, of course, make a giant piece, but I work fairly small in collage so far, so I don't really need anything big. So we're just gonna tear this up. We'll save that for later. Maybe tear this one in half. I'm gonna get a paper towel. Now I've got this recycled glass top from an old cheap drafting desk, which comes in really handy when you're dealing with water, but all right. And then this I'm just going to tear. I do own a pair of scissors, but I do like a rough edge. And the Gampi we're just gonna leave 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11. All right, so we've got our paper. And let's figure out, I'm gonna keep this one maybe big. The first thing we're going to do is create this kind of, I don't know if it's like directly inspired by like shibori techniques, but we're going to basically create a mask and then fold up the paper. So I've got some coins. I got this teeny little baby clamp. You could probably use, I don't know if clothespins will give you a tight enough squeeze, but you could use maybe an A-clamp. And let's use the Gampi paper because this is kind of crisp and I think it's going to give really nice clean lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the quarter, and I just want just enough space around the quarter to make a color line, right? So I'm going to make really nice crisp edges, and I'm just going to accordion fold this. Okay. And then we're going to pull it like this. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I need to. I mean, you could be precise, use a ruler. I don't know if you've realized how wabi-sabi I guess I am, how I've committed to that process. But I like things to be organic and a little bit, I don't know, rough around the edges, you could say. Okay, so we're gonna have this little weird, all right, so I've got this folded piece and I'm gonna take these 2 quarters and I'm going to clamp them as tight as I can. Okay, that's pretty tight. And what color? So this is pretty much how, where'd my little piece go? I don't know what I did with it. Got the pink one. Oh, I should shut this off. This is the story of my life. I put something down and it's just gone forever. Oh, guess I hung it up. This is sort of the same effect that I did here, but here I didn't put a quarter. I just folded it and then put the ink in, and I used two types of ink. So we're gonna do something similar, but ideally, we're going to have a circle instead of a square. So let's see, I do want to use 2 types of ink. I've kind of been on an orange kick, so I've got, well, that's bright red, even though it looks orange. Although I'd like it to kind of bleed. Ooh, what if we did some magenta? Oh, is magenta too strong? We'll try magenta and yellow. I don't know how that's going to look, but what the heck. I'm just going to take my little eyedropper here. Now you could dilute this, but I find that I don't want to add typically a ton of water right off the bat. This might need it though. This is not very absorbent. Like the Tangucho. The Tangucho eats this up. So I'm just putting it around the edges. Let me just dampen this a little. Oh yeah, that works. So I'm just spraying. And I'm going to add a little yellow. I don't know what color I'm going to get, but I mean, I should. I know my color charts, but this is when having glasses was really handy. That's kind of cool. We could even make a print out of our drips. I'm just going to let it sit for a minute because I want it to, what can I do with this? I need a little, there we go. I got a little jar to put it in. I'll let that sit for a minute. I'm going to just pick up this ink. I don't like it. I mean, isn't that like the joy of being an artist? I mean, look at how fun that is. That could be something cool. We'll hang it up here. All right, clean my workspace. And then let's see, with the Tangucho, let's do something a little different. What if we folded it in kind of a triangular shape? And I'm just going to take my walnut ink and just spritz it on the end. Did I say that this could get messy? You might want to get like a little parchment paper or oilcloth for your surface. Gloves might not be a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, we'll let that sit for a second. One of those craft mats would actually be great, those silicone craft mats. I need to get one of those. All right. And so with Tangucho, you need to be super careful. Let me just get a little more ink there. You have to be super careful when it's wet. You have to unfold it very, very delicately. And let's see. Now, you could use a heat gun, but what I find with the heat gun is that it can make the ink a little hard. All right. Oh, this is cool. How did I unfold this? Here we go. I got something stuck here. There we go. I mean, look at that. That is so awesome. Where's the open? I've lost the opening of my triangle. There's something here, but there we go. Like I said, it's super delicate. There we go. I mean, look at that. You can't buy that at the store. I love that. Now you could put these on, if you're an encaustic artist, if you have a clean pancake griddle, you could put them down and gently dry them, but I just hang them up. The tengucho dries really quickly. This one's already almost dry. Or you can string up a little clothesline. You don't need a huge heavy one. All right, so far so good. We've got that. Let's see how this is coming out. Now you could wait and let this sit and dry all the way. In my experience, what happens is the ink likes to cling together and I end up tearing my paper if I let it dry too far. Oh, that's what I want, a nice big circle. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna carefully unwrap it. Oh, how funny, there's no circles in the middle, but that's okay. It's still gonna be cool, I think. Let's try this again and wet the paper first, because this is kind of fun, but not as fun as it could be. I'm gonna take the Gampi paper. Where's the Gampi? We're gonna take the Gampi paper. I'm gonna wet it a little bit first. Now the Gampi can handle this. It's a little sturdier than, well, a lot sturdier than tengucho. Okay, maybe we won't fold it quite the same way. Let's try it this way. Well, we should probably fold it the same way. Let's try. Getting a little bit of walnut ink on here, but that's okay. And you can see the fibers are starting to separate a little bit, so we have to be careful. Now it could just be that this is too thick of a fold. So if you did it with less paper, you might have better success. Okay, where's my pink? Okay, and now let's do a little yellow. All right, I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. Little baby wipe always comes in handy. All right, let's do something with our calligraphy paper now. I'm gonna fold it up a little bit. And make little teeny accordion folds. We're going to twist it. Okay, I'm going to wet it. And let's take some bright green. I feel like it's very spring-like. I'm only going to do half. I'm not going to do it everywhere. Because the idea is that you want the white. We're just going to let that sit for a second. Clean up. And while that's waiting, let's take another piece of Tangucha, maybe just a little piece. The Tangucha is so thin that it really brings a lot of the, and I want to just kind of loosely roll it. I don't want to twist it, so we're just going to make a little, like a loosely rolled fold. And let's take, oh, this beautiful teal. And we're gonna make a little, I think I need a little cup. I don't trust the dropper. It's gonna be too much. Come on, I have 1,000 droppers. 1,000, okay, here we go. I'm gonna put a little water in this. I want the ink to show up, right? And then we're gonna take a little brush and we're just gonna drop ink, little dots. Let it be a little amorphic. And then we're going to do the other side. I mean, you kind of have to punch down a little bit. There's no guarantee it's going to go through all the layers. Maybe we'll just do a little just a little spritz to help it spread. And we'll let that sit. So while that's figuring out what it wants to do, let's see how our green came out. Oh, a little kind of fun heart shape there. Oh, look at that. And then once it's dry, you can iron it if you don't like the ridges. It's so cool. You could embellish it more. You could draw on it. You can make it really detailed if you want. We're gonna just let this dry for a little bit. Where can I put it? I can put it over here. A piece of parchment paper. All right, let's see how this came out. You know, it's gonna be a little trial and error. You never know what you're gonna find. But what I like is how random everything is, you know? Like, if I was trying to paint something that looked like this, I don't think I would come up with it. And I think that's the beauty of printmaking, the beauty of the jelly plate. So have a lot of fun, get some translucent papers, get some ink, do some of these, let them dry, and then we're going to get back together and we're going to work on collaging with transparent layers. I hope you had a good time. All right, let's see how this came out. This is looking a little bit more what I had in mind. You can see it'll tear, but it's collage. We're going to be tearing it up anyways. Really tearing. There we go. That's pretty cool. That's going to be great in a collage, even though it's torn.